All right, welcome to The Explainer. So, you're planning a move to SAP S4 HANA Finance. This is a big deal. And today, we are going to transform what can be a really dense technical guide into a super clear, actionable pre-flight checklist. It's a massive move for any company, right? The promise of incredible speed, better analytics, it's all very tempting. But here's the thing, and it's a big but. Like any major journey, your success isn't really about the destination. It's all about the prep work. And I mean this literally. A successful launch depends entirely on the pre-flight check. The most crucial part of this whole project happens before you even start the migration. And getting this sequence of steps right, it's totally non-negotiable if you want a smooth takeoff. Okay, let's dive into it. First up, the critical pre-migration window. And believe me, timing is absolutely everything here. You have a very small, very specific window to make this happen. It has to be at the end of a financial period, right after you've closed the books. This freezes a perfect, clean financial snapshot that you're going to move. So let's break down the 4 key phases to nail this. So here's our roadmap. And let me just say this again, because it's so important. The order here is everything. You can't skip a step. Think of it just like a pilot's checklist. First, you clear the runway. That's our housekeeping. Then you run engine diagnostics. That's closing the books. After that, you seal the cabin doors, and finally, you get clearance for takeoff. Every single step builds on the one before it. Okay, Section 2, Initial System Housekeeping. Before we do anything else, we've got to tidy up the old system. The whole point here is to get rid of any loose ends or variables that could pop up and cause some major headaches after you've migrated. And this cleanup boils down to 3 non-negotiable tasks. First, you've got to copy your number ranges. It sounds simple, but if you don't, you literally won't be able to post transactions in the new year. Big fail. Next, clear out all those held documents. These are just incomplete bits of data hanging around. Post them or delete them. And finally, stop your batch jobs. This guarantees nothing is changing in the background while you're trying to get a clean snapshot. You need a completely static system. All right, on to part 3, closing the financial books. Now, this is the main event of the whole pre-migration show. If you get one thing right, it has to be this. It's the absolute core of the entire preparation process. So, what are we trying to achieve here? Simple. A perfect, seamless financial handoff. Every single ledger, every subledger, every asset balance has to be finalized and carried forward. Why? So that on day 1 in your shiny new S4 HANA system, you start with a perfectly reconciled opening position. No questions, no doubts. And this breaks down into 3 key areas. And here's how you do it. This looks technical, I know, but it's really just 3 specific, manageable jobs. For your general ledger, you're going to run transaction FAGLGVTR. For fixed assets, it's AJRW. And for all your customers and vendors, you'll use F.07. You run these 3, and you've just ensured your entire financial picture is carried forward clean as a whistle. Okay, next section. Sealing the prior period. So you've closed the books, you've carried the balances forward. What's next? You have to lock it all down, completely. This is literally sealing the cabin doors before takeoff. Nothing gets in and nothing gets out. And the goal here is to lock down all posting periods. The integrity of your entire migration project depends on this one thing. Your data has to be absolutely frozen from this point on. Think about it. One new posting, just one, and all those balances you just carefully carried forward are now wrong. That's why this lockdown has to be system-wide. And here's a classic mistake people make. They just lock the finance module. That's not enough. For your data to be truly, truly frozen, you've got to seal the periods everywhere, in materials management, in asset accounting, and in controlling too. It's this total system lockdown that gives you a stable data set that's actually ready for migration. And here we are, Section 5, the final pre-flight check. We are on the final approach. We've done the cleaning, we've closed the books, we've sealed the system. Now, it's time for that final confirmation. Are all systems go for launch? So you've done all this prep work, right? But how do you know for sure? How can you be 100% certain that everything is ready? You don't want to just hope it's okay. You need a definitive, system-generated yes, especially for something as tricky as asset accounting. And that definitive answer comes from this one report, RSFIN_MIGR_precheck. You run this program one last time. Think of it as the system itself giving you a final thumbs up. It's the ultimate diagnostic check. It scans everything you've just done and confirms that, yes, all the prerequisites have been met. It's your green light to go. And now we're at the point of no return. The very, very last thing you do before you kick off the technical migration is you lock out all the business users. Everyone who isn't on the migration team gets locked out. This is your final commitment. It ensures that nobody, absolutely nobody, can log in and make some tiny accidental change that could derail everything. The system is now officially in lockdown for migration. So let's just boil this all down. What's the core logic here? It's simple. Close, lock, check, and commit. First, perform that full period end close. Then, lock everything down. FI, CO, MM, the whole shebang. After that, run that final check report to get the official go. And finally, you commit by locking out the users. Follow those 4 steps in that exact order, and you're set up for a smooth, predictable transition. And that wraps up our explainer on these critical pre-migration steps. With your legacy system perfectly prepped, sealed, and ready for launch, the question to leave you with is this: what's your first move in the new system? Because once you land, the priority isn't just about double-checking the data. It's about starting to unlock all that incredible value you did this migration for in the first place. That's where the real journey begins.